I don't respect Isaac Cruz after this fight. What irritated me was how much of a dirty fighter he was being. He was throwing shoulder strikes in the clinch with Lamont Roach. He low blowed him multiple times. He headbutted him multiple times. And the ref only stepped in when he started clinching Lamont Roach later on when he was getting beat. Bro was smiling after the fight, even though he got a draw. So what does that mean to you, right? That means he was clearly happy with a draw because he knew he lost the freaking fight. I've seen a lot of people talking about how Cruz won the fight and he got robbed, which I highly disagree with. I'm going to get into my scorecard in a second. But let me just say, the people I've seen who've been saying Isaac Cruz won have all one thing in common. They're all Mexicans, right? I will never listen to a Mexican person address if a Mexican fighter won or not. Because if you remember, a lot of Mexican people were saying that Canelo got robbed against Terrence Crawford, which was not the truth at all. I get it, you're rooting for your people, but we can't be biased here, right? So this is my scorecard, right? This is going to get a lot of y'all upset. But listen, I scored it 117-109 for Roach. The fight was close, right? I don't see it being a draw. The fight was close. But what made it close is the rounds itself were close. But I gave those close rounds to Roach, in my opinion. If you look at CompuBox, you can see that Lamont Roach was more accurate and he landed more. I can understand kind of how you can think that Cruz won because his style makes it look like he's winning the fight anyway. Which he comes in all hunchback, guard high. You know, people were calling him the Mexican Mike Tyson at one point. People were calling him the mini Mexican Mike Tyson at one point, which to me he's lost all that aura, especially with how dirty he was being. Now, before I give my thoughts on the actual fight itself, let me say this. I'm going to address Cruz first. I'm going to say, yo, Cruz hasn't been that good. There's tiers in boxing to where you're right below a Gervonta Davis, but you can't meet or surpass that level. So Gervonta Davis had beat Isaac Cruz. Isaac Cruz has lost a few times to some people, but he still has some aura about him to where people just generally visually like his style. But being honest, Isaac Cruz is not that good. And let me say this about Lamont Roach. Lamont Roach ain't that great of a fighter either, to be honest. I never said this on YouTube, but I was addressing it. I said this to some folks at work who are into boxing. I said, look, Lamont Roach, I didn't give a prediction on who I thought would win this fight, but I said, listen, Lamont Roach against Gervonta Davis was going to be a career best performance from Roach. And it looked like I was right. That night was going to be the best performance we've seen from Lamont Roach. And people forget Lamont Roach has fought Gervonta Davis multiple times in the past. So he has experience with them. So that was in his favor as well. And also Gervonta looked like he was off that night as well. So honestly, both of y'all are on the same level. Isaac Cruz and Lamont Roach, y'all are both on the same level. So if I say either one of y'all fought Gervonta Davis, y'all would lose. Now I heard going around that Gervonta wants to do a rematch with Isaac Cruz. And honestly, I believe he beats Isaac Cruz again. I don't think a rematch for Lamont Roach is in the cards with Gervonta Davis at all. I think he had that chance and he blew it, to be honest. You had to show up and show out for that fight. And it was close. So that's multiple draws for Lamont Roach. I don't believe that he's going to get that chance again. And I tell you this, Lamont Roach better be careful because there were a lot of people who were eyeing you after Gervonta Davis. People were looking out for you during this fight. And since you came in, you got knocked down by Isaac Cruz, but in my opinion, you still won. Now, less people are going to be interested in you. And honestly, I believe there's a lot of names out there who would beat Lamont Roach, and badly. But the reason why Lamont Roach won this fight is because, in my opinion, he was able to adjust to Isaac Cruz simply. Cruz was such a weird style to deal with from Gervonta Davis, so he had to take a few rounds to get comfortable with that, to be able to deal with him on the inside. But yeah, man, I don't want to see another Isaac Cruz fight after this. So yeah, man, on my scorecard, which is always right, Lamont Roach won. By CompuBox, Lamont Roach won. Let me know what you guys think. I'm going to go ahead and get up off here. Peace.